Well, Smith Rowe departure confirmed by Mikel Arteta. Yesterday night, when I was obviously doing a story of Carafieri, here we go. We got a story coming in from David Austin that really read: exclusive, Fulham close to reaching an agreement with Arsenal to sign Emile Smith Rowe. Talks of a move worth up to €35 million would be record recruit for Fulham, plus March biggest Arsenal sell. If deal struck, 23-year-old expected to do medical and finalize terms in there for you. That's what we're going to put up onto his X account via the website of Athletic, and he was like, all right, this is really obviously gonna work out well for the club of Arsenal. And welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. Remember, we are powered by Mono Gadgets. Mono Gadgets are really dealers in what we call new phones and laptops and used phones and laptops from UK. So call them on +256 70 99 88 665. That is Mono Gadgets for you, and the rest will be history into the making. So as it stands, after that story that was put up by David Austin, lots of stories followed even after the game that Arsenal went ahead to beat Bournemouth in penalties came to pass. Arteta was asked as to why Emile Smith Rowe was really out of action yesterday, and a story and the answer was really given. Then we are talking Anthony Gordon, and then we are going to be talking Moussa Diaby. Guys, it's really a very good day, third video of the day, and after this I'm going to be coming up with the live video. Then later in the night I'll record a video of Nico Williams and see where everything is going to have to be obviously reach into the mix. So let's see close to 20 likes on this video. Continue to subscribe because we want to hit the magic number, and the rest will be history. Now, Mikel Arteta was questioned as to why Emile Smith Rowe never went ahead to take part into the game of football of Bournemouth, yet he went ahead obviously performed very well when they are playing against Leyton Orient, and he was even the captain. Arteta told us that there are things happening in the background at the moment, and we decided the best thing to do was keep him away from the game today. So what is happening in the background was exactly what David Austin told us, that Emile Smith Rowe is on the verge to leave Arsenal. And I told you that if I'm Emile Smith Rowe, I obviously put in a request to leave, because as it stands, there is no way Arsenal will obviously get this guy ample playing time, because the recruitment of Arsenal is really going ahead to increasingly getting what we call finished articles. When you look at the coming in of Merino into the midfield of Arsenal with the future of Thomas Partey doubted, so it really sends a message to you that you are not anywhere near the starting 11. And what went ahead obviously confirmed him that he's nowhere near the starting 11 or getting a chance to play is last season. He was there, I think, for the last quarter of the season. He was really fully fit, but how many minutes was he given as a player? Very few minutes were given to him as a player. And I tell you what, he really had a lot of work to show, but he was not given a chance. And all what he needed was let him really get a team where he's obviously going to be given ample playing time, and everything will really see to it that he really gets back to where he deserves to be. I know he will get back to a top team. 23 years of age, he needs 2 seasons to go to Fulham, play very well. Him being English, Fulham will make some huge amount of money, and they might even make close to 60 or 70 million pounds from Emile Smith Rowe, because we know the quality of the player. He's a multi-dimensional player. The moment he finds himself in a position of really playing in his favorite position as a number 10, he'll create lots of chances, score lots of goals, and very many big teams will go in for Emile Smith Rowe. And I tell you, don't be shocked when a team like Man City in 2 years from now goes in for Emile Smith Rowe, because I see huge potential in the player. What really caused problems for him are the injuries he went ahead to get after having a very successful season of 2021-2022 with Arsenal. Arteta was willing to obviously get hold of the player and put him into the starting 11, but his injuries obviously put him off. Off the left, he was really great. In the center, he was really great. So he's a player that he will lead in your team. And the likes of Fulham really need him because Andreas Pereira is going to be leaving the side of Fulham. We all know that. And Chelsea, Atletico Madrid are really negotiating for a deal of the player. So Arteta came up and really told us about that something was happening in the background. But by the time he said it, we had already gotten to know that it's a deal that is really being orchestrated and being put into works by the side of Fulham and Arsenal. So that's the deal of Emile Smith Rowe. That was a clear indication that what Austin told us was right, and what other way of a confirmation do you want from the man known as Arteta than that? Then we are having Sky Sports. They told us that Fulham are in advanced talks with Arsenal over the signing of Emile Smith Rowe. The fee under discussion is worth up to £35 billion. There is still work to do. There is work to do the deal, but it is understood to be progressing positively, and it is seen as a good move for all parties. Obviously, if you're Emile Smith Rowe, you are staying in London. Remember, Fulham is in London, and you are going to be under a very good manager known as Marco Silva. You're going to hate to see him improve very many players, like the likes of Mullins, Andreas Pereira. Look at Paulinho. He is going to hate to go to the side of Bayern Munich. Tosin has gone to Chelsea. When you look at the exodus of players and where they're obviously heading to, I tell you what, it really rings you the best of the best when it comes to the side of Emile Smith Rowe, and nothing is really going to stop him from obviously doing the needful. So for me, I believe it's good for all parties, and I believe Arsenal is wanting to use this money to obviously get in other players, because for Emile Smith Rowe, it's pure profit. Remember, he's an academy graduate from the side known as Arsenal. That is the Hell End Academy, and that £35 million comes in through as pure profit, and Arsenal can use it by to sign in like 3 players, because if they divide that money in three parts, you get, it will be like £12 million, meaning that they can obviously agree a deal of players for 5 years, and they're going to be paying that amount, like £12 million per year, you get, and they can get in 3 players, because nowadays a deal is split in 5 years. When it's split in 5 years, obviously 5 times 12, that is £60 million, and that might see them even get players that they feel like they want to get. So it's a very big deal for the side of Emile Smith Rowe. I see him as a player who was going to obviously fight for his position back, and don't be shocked if at all even Arsenal go back to get him there, because Arteta loves him, Edu loves him, the fan of Arsenal love him. They even composed a song for them together, and Bukayo Saka, for what they went ahead obviously put out into the season of 2021-2022, where Emile Smith Rowe, I think, was the top scorer of Arsenal into that season. And for me, one thing I like about him, apart from his talent, is that he scores every team, and he's a big game killer. And if you're a big game killer and you go to the team like Fulham that is going to be giving you enough playing time, that means you are going to really continue to assassinate very many opponents, and you wait. We who support Manchester United and those that support Arsenal, Emile Smith Rowe might come in through at Emirates and obviously score a winner against Arsenal, because he's well known for being a big game killer. He's a big game killer. He scores brilliant goals. He's a brave player. He risks himself. He can create chances. He can really score goals. He does everything that you believe a central attacking midfielder can do. And he has the physicality that is needed to obviously thrive into the Premier League. So we are waiting to see how things pan out. But I tell you what, it is really good for him to obviously find himself a place, as he cannot really get in to the levels where he was way back, like 3 years back, when he was really playing for the club of Arsenal, because the competition is really immense, right? and I think he's going to make a right decision, and that's why Arteta has gone ahead to obviously confirm Emile Smith Rowe's departure to Fulham. Let's go to Liverpool. Anthony Gordon is really one of those players that Liverpool wants, and we have a story coming in through from a man himself known as Luke Edwards. He has told us that Anthony Gordon told teammates while away on England duty at the Euros that a move to Liverpool was going to happen. The Wingers representatives desperately tried to revive the move in late June, but were unable to do so. But I understand that Anthony Gordon wants to play for big teams. But if you're Anthony Gordon, what else do you want? You want Newcastle. You've gone ahead to really have a very good season, and you've gone ahead to get into the England national team squad. You know, you are the top or the number one left forward in the pecking order for the man known as Eddie Howe, and you are trying to leave a side where you're really the number one in the pecking order to go to a side where they really have close to 3-4 players who really play in that position. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about Douglas. I'm talking about Luis Diaz. I'm talking about Diego Jota. I'm talking about Cody Gakpo. You get? Those are 3 players that you need to obviously beat to get into that position. And remember, even Luis Diaz sometimes was being played into that position. And you have to ask yourself, why are you really doing such a deal? You get? There is no big team where he can obviously go and obviously get enough playing time like he gets at the side of Newcastle. If I'm Anthony Gordon, I'm still young. All what I have to do is let me settle in well at Newcastle, and by the time I think of leaving Newcastle, I'll be going to a team that has bought me for like £100 million and tell me a manager who won't be questioned if at all he doesn't play a player whom he bought for £100 million. You know, that's why Jack Grealish, amidst his blowing hot and cold at Man City, he's being played. You get? When you go in for a player for huge money and you convince your board to bring him in, you have to play him. So if I'm Anthony Gordon, I will be at Newcastle for 2 seasons. That is it. Be at Newcastle for 2 seasons, and then later you'll do the needful, because all you need is playing time. The world knows that you're really good, and all you need is playing time to prove them right. So for me, if at all I'm Anthony Gordon, there is no reason as to why I obviously come up to really put in a very bad shift, to obviously think that all is okay for me to go to Liverpool. And I will really blame the agent of Anthony Gordon if at all he really acknowledges the move for him to go to Liverpool, because he needs to be at Newcastle for 1 or 2 seasons, be a 20-goal season scorer, and the rest will be history. That is it. So we wait and see how that pans out, and I don't know whether Ancelotti has going to convince him to do that, but I tell you, managers change like time. They do change like time, I tell you. So Anthony Gordon also came from the academy, I think, of Everton. And how do you go to Everton? How do you go to Liverpool? You know, Steven Gerrard was wanted by Manchester United and was like, I cannot go to play for Manchester United. However much Liverpool are willing to sell me there, I cannot go there, you know. So it is really very awkward for the fans of Everton to hear that even this guy is thinking of going to play ahead of Liverpool. You know, it's better for him to stay at Newcastle, and big teams will come in through. Man United will come in through for you. Chelsea will come in through for you. Arsenal might come. Man City might come, you know, and you never know the future of Newcastle. When they really get out of these financial problems, do you know how they're really going to be acting like? That is the huge question. So he should preserve himself for the future, and there is no reason for him to panic. And I think that was a panicky decision, because Newcastle wanted to obviously sell the player as they wanted to make in money, but they found themselves in a situation of really solving their financial problems into the mix. So after that, let's go to the guy known as Moussa Diaby. Very much disappointed in the player. Al Ittihad are preparing to announce Moussa Diaby. He will go to Alcante and have a medical before taking photos and announcing the deal. He's expected to join training immediately and could play as early as Friday friendly against Sevilla. This is the guy known as Moussa Diaby. And finally, Moussa Diaby was confirmed as a new Etihad player on a 5-year deal. Aston Villa received a €60 million package. And I ask myself, if I'm Moussa Diaby, with the season I had at Aston Villa, why would I go? Is it because of the problems they had with money and they needed in money? Because they've sold Douglas Luiz, they've sold Moussa Diaby, and they've gone ahead to try to get in players like Onana, and they're trying to get in a player known as João Felix because they are in the Champions League. But I'm really disappointed in Moussa Diaby, you know, like I was, he's called Vega, you know. You remember that boy called Vega who was playing for Celta Vigo, right? Who went to the Arab League. I was like, why would a player go that side? I think this scenario of N'Golo Kante coming in from Saudi Arabia and really representing well for the French national team is going to obviously eat up very many players, and they believe they can convince their managers to obviously get them the starting 11s of their national teams if at all they're playing in for Saudi Arabia, you know. And you ask yourself, why would Moussa Diaby choose to go that side, you know? But maybe it has been Aston Villa that has forced him to go that side, and maybe he's earning huge money, and the players like, let me go spend 2 years there because I'm still young. Because Moussa Diaby is like 23 years of age, 24. He says, let me sacrifice 2 years. After 2 years, I'll be like 25, 26. I can come and really rescue my career. I think that's what is running the head of Moussa Diaby. So guys, thank you very much for watching through this. Support Moussa Diaby to go to the Saudi League. What do you make about Anthony Gordon? Was it a very good decision for him to obviously go ahead and really play part into wanting to join Liverpool from Newcastle? Do you think would have wanted to get ample playing time? And after that, let's obviously talk about Arteta confirming Emile Smith Rowe's departure from Arsenal to Fulham. Guys, I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. We out for now. See you later, and for everyone who is really watching in through, good night, but we are returning with the live video in 1 or 2 hours from now. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.